Hey, Jen.
Hey, Kevin.
So we're talking mulch. Do you love mulch as much as I do?
I do love mulch.
I love mulch day.
There are countless ways that it can be used. There's so many different kinds, but the functional purposes are one of the huge things. So to keep in soil moisture, it really helps keep the moisture in the soil once the water penetrates through.
Yep.
That's number one. Number two, soil temperature. It helps regulate the temperature. In the summer, it keeps the roots cooler. In the winter, it keeps them more insulated.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
keeps the weeds down for sure. And
definitely.
I love the look, right? I mean, all of a sudden your garden goes, man, it's a little scraggly, and then it's just like, boom.
That is the final icing on the cake. It just makes everything look clean.
Yeah.
So there's so many different applications and ways and types. And so there's organic and there's non-organic. This
is interesting. Like, I think of mulch as sort of like the bark chopped up or whatever, but you've actually got stone here and little pebbles.
Right. There's so many different ways to do it. Like out west, they might use like lava rock or, something that you don't have to keep on reapplying. So the pros of using pebbles like this are you're not going to have to reapply it. They're going to stay in place. A con could be it heats up too much and it really burns the roots. But you see it in a lot of industrial places. It's easy. It's pretty much maintenance free.
It's a look. Hay is not something I think of mulch either, although there's a ton of it in my area, used because we got horses and stuff like this. This is good in the garden?
Oh, this is great in the garden when you want to close it down at the end of the year, especially in perennial gardens and vegetable gardens. You top dress it. It helps with the soil, keeping all the nutrients in so they don't get washed out.
Okay, so function here, not so much aesthetic.
Exactly.
Gotcha. And then this is what I think most people think of typically with mulches, right? And these are sort of the bark mulch, the wood mulches and such.
These three come in the same kind of family. You might see them more frequently in your home center. A lot of times, and this is what I have a problem with, is that they use dyes in it. And so dyes have chemicals in it, but they do it to have the color last, which I like to stay away from.
So that's interesting. So this is basically just shredded wood or bark, right? It's these long things. And then they treat it with the color to give it a different feel.
Yeah, and it's a color preservative, and so it locks in the color and the color lasts longer, but then that's also going to leach into your soil.
You see this a lot, and it's clearly not a natural color.
It's not. And for me, my style, I tend to stay away from that. This is pine bark, and these are nice chunky pieces, and the water can penetrate through this just perfectly, and sometimes it comes down to look, like what kind of look do you want for your garden beds.
And then this stuff here?
This is more of a shredded bark mulch, and this is like my go-to stuff.
Yeah.
It helps with the decomposition, it helps invite earthworms, and then these organic nutrients go into the soil and then helps with the whole cycle.
Okay, so options, boundless, endless. Let's talk about application. Can we use your favorite to apply?
Yes.
In terms of technique for when you're putting this down.
So it drives me crazy. You go around to a lot of places and you see these mulch volcanoes around the tree. And I think people think it's going to protect the base of the tree.
Yeah.
So here, I'm going to show you an example because people tend to just go like this, up around the base, right?
Yep.
And then what this is going to do, it's going to invite moisture and rot. And so what you really want to do is move it away so you can expose the flare of the root.
Right there.
Yeah, so you just want a little dusting over the top and then go around it. Right. And you can make like a saucer, especially when you're doing new plantings, you make like a little saucer so the water is caught in the middle.
So no mulch volcanoes. In terms of spreading it throughout the rest of the garden, how thick? How much do you want to build it up?
That's
typically?
A very good question. It depends from perennials to shrubs. Perennials do 1 to 2 inches, shrubs 2 to 3 inches.
And time of year? I mean, I do mine in the spring to kick them off, make the gardens look great after we tune them up. Is that the best time?
Spring's a great time unless you have a lot of perennials. A lot of people like to let their perennials come up first so you don't completely bury them.
Yeah.
So it depends what type of garden bed you have. But for trees and shrubs, absolutely spring.
Cool, beautiful. All right, I think we're on the same page with mulch. We love it. And
no
actually,
volcanoes.
Way more to know about it than I thought. Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. Make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.